Everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be having a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. I want to say the reason that I haven't been uploading a lot is because, again, I have school, so I cannot really upload much. But yeah, let's get into it. The first thing I'd like to show you guys is all of this. Over here I have got a new layer, and here it just says all of like the stats of the countries, like the troops, the navy, the economy, population. There, if you want to have a look at that, that will be on the screen. The first thing happening is Egypt expanding. Egypt is a relatively new country. They, appeared last episode, and I quite like them, to be honest. I think they're a nice African country, and they'll connect up with the colony of Crete, and they will expand. This is the Egyptian expansion. They've expanded quite a bit, and they've connected up with the colony of Crete. And Crete is feeling a bit threatened by this. If Egypt really wanted to, they could just, take that, and Crete couldn't really do anything about it. But Sicily likes Crete. They're like sort of, I don't want to call it a puppet state, but let's say the only reason they do exist is because of Sicily. And over here to Iberia, a lot of people in France and this mountainous nation over here, they've been calling for this conflict to end, and the French government will be forced to intervene. And yeah, they're going to send troops through this area over here, and they're going to go and fight with the Iberian government to destroy the rebellions and, make the monarchists great again. So the French troops will be arriving over here, and they'll be kicking back this pink country. What happens to this pink country is they get invaded by the green country, and yeah, they get cooked. But then the green country is going to collapse. Wow. So now Iberia is even more messy, but the governments, well, I'm gonna call them the government, and I'm being called again for the 17th time. Okay, yeah, what was I gonna do? Oh yes, the Iberian government will sweep through the rest of this country, and they will re-liberate the capital, and they will completely, destroy this invasion. And now they have to turn their focus down to the strongest country in Iberia, which is Gibraltar. And Gibraltar has been doing great things. They're fighting over the capital right now, and it's going quite well. They are winning so far. The French troops are coming, so Gibraltar is a bit scared about this. But yeah. And here's where it gets very controversial. You know who likes islands, right? Sicily. Sicily is going to be occupying or just invading these two Iberian islands. Iberia's they originated from these islands, and they're not happy about losing them to Sicily, but they're forced to sit down with Sicily, and this kind of makes the French really annoyed, like really, really annoyed. So they're going to go to Monaco down here, and they're going to go like, hey Monaco, can you start invading countries around you? And Monaco is actually going to say yes to this. There's a lot going on, a lot of war going on. So Monaco will be invading this small country, and they capitulate very fast. And Sicily's just thinking, oh, this is just typical Monaco. And then Monaco will go over to these guys, and they will invade them too. And now Sicily's like a bit confused, like, what are you doing? What is this? They're not going to say anything. Adriatica. Anyway, now let's go to Galicia. Galicia has been really falling apart recently. Oh my gosh. They've had 2 rebellious groups, but let's make that 3. Somehow, Galicia has completely fumbled again, and they have another massive rebellious group. And this rebellious group is going to do very well because there's no troops here. They will be connecting up with their exclave, and they will be encircling this small batch of troops and killing them all, which is kind of brutal. And this country down here, well, no, not really a country, it's a rebellious group. They're also going to be kind of collapsing because they're being pushed back to their capital. The funding has really dried up from the foreign power. But they're going to have some luck on their side because they have proxies in Galicia that are now ready to rebel. And yeah, these are in their old proxy areas, like over here and up here in these 2 towns. So yeah, no, not Sicily. Okay, I actually leaked something, but Galicia is getting quite worried. They have, yeah, this is very messy over here. But still, the French are coming. And the French troops, they're arriving in numbers right now. Hundreds upon thousands of French troops. And yeah. Galicia's being pushed back. The one major city that they took has been taken back. All these towns are being taken back. And everything is being taken back from them. So let's look at the power rankings with the troops. France has 490,000 active troops. This has probably gone up to about 520,000. And they've also got a good navy. See, Gibraltar's on none of these rankings. Neither is the Iberian government. But yeah, Gibraltar's stronger than the Iberian government. So yeah, let's get back into this war. We'll finally see this country take the capital of the pink team, and the pink team will go ahead and surrender. And they're actually going to have well, maybe not the first peace treaty, but a peace treaty. And now we have a sort of middle Iberia country, and it's not very stable, so it might collapse soon. It's not going to collapse yet. But still, Gibraltar isn't stupid. They know how to fight. That's Greece. Yeah, they do know how to fight, and they will be showcasing this as they, make their best general to have they give their best general the best army that they can get, and they will encircle a massive amount of French troops before moving their navy swiftly around them and making a few landings. And these troops are fully encased now, and there's nothing they can do. They're now trapped in a city, and this is a major loss for the French. They do not know how to get these troops back. They physically cannot, unless they, throw a ton of people at this front line, which, yeah, totally they're not going to do that. Okay, they're going to do that. They're going to throw a ton of people at the front line, connect up with the exclave. The troops are able to get out in time, but it was very, very costly, and they should have just let the troops die. Yeah, wow. And this is where France is going to stop their intervention. They've had enough of this. A ton of people have already died, and it's not in their interests to keep going. And there's also a new proxy over here. So now, well, these rebellions aren't going to fight each other, but there's a proxy up here. And it's now that Galicia is going to withdraw all of its troops from this country, and it's going to sit down with the rebellious groups to see what they want, and this will be the peace treaty. This is the peace treaty of Galicia. As we can see, Galicia used to have, all of this land, and they've been heavily reduced. The strongest group is this one down here. They've gained a ton of land. They've connected up with some of their proxies up here. And yeah, down to Gibraltar again. Yeah, they've gone into conscription, and a ton of troops are going to hit the front lines again. But the Iberian government also wants to sit down with them to have a little talk, and they will. Oh, they've signed peace. So in this peace treaty, Galicia gains... No, not Galicia, God. Gibraltar gains this land over here. And also in the peace treaty, this pink country is fully annexed into the Iberian government. And in turn, they're going to form an alliance. These guys are going to create the, what is this shape? The Octagon Alliance. And yeah, this alliance is a military alliance. It's going to try and, mediate what's going on over here. But the conflict is still ending. Now it's only just this rebellion over here. And sorry for this country over here. They're not going to win. Oh, no. Maybe they might win. Because the Octagons have decided to send some troops in to help with them. Because these guys, they're quite chill. They were never really involved with the conflict until they got jumped, and then they jumped these guys. So yeah, but they will be invading their rebellious groups, and this rebellious group will get absolutely stomped. And yes, the war in Iberia has ended. There is no more war, but only for a bit because tensions are still rising over here. And over to France, they are going to make a decision to join the Octagon Alliance, which is surprising. The Octagons, they're a very good alliance to join right now because there's a lot of hostile countries, so they believe that it's in their best interest to join and become sort of the leader of this alliance. So yeah. And yeah, there's going to be the first Russian war. or, well, there's already been Russian wars, but the first notable Russian war. This war will start between the Green Team and St. Petersburg. They've been having sort of a battle for influence. So both the sides, they're going to create an alliance. So let's have a look at these alliances. So these are the new alliances formed. As we can see, St. Petersburg has got Estonia and these two Russian countries on their side. And what's this? Belarus? I'm just going to call them Belarus. They've got the pink lavender country and this sort of nation up here, which is right next to St. Petersburg, which could be very important. So how does this war actually start? It's over here on this border. We can see that all of the Diamond Alliance members connect, but these two do not, and they want to connect. So one day a small convoy is just going to move across to put some supplies over here. But when they get there, they're intercepted by some border force. And yeah, this is a pushback. And tensions have risen to the all-time high. But these guys are going to do something extremely stupid. They're going to chase the convoy into the territory. And yeah, they go very far as well. And now these sides have just slipped out into an all-out war. And these guys have been pushed back. The first fighting will be over here on this front, as we see that St. Petersburg was actually ready for this war. As you know, of course they'd be ready. They are St. Petersburg. They are one of the most powerful Russian countries. So yeah, they'll be pushing into this pink, dark purple country. And yeah, they're getting cooked. And they're already close to the capital. But Belarusian troops are also here. And they'll be pushing into southern St. Petersburg, doing quite well. And they'll also be pushing across into Estonia, who has had some, issues right now. And now over here, yeah, this is not even close. These guys are a military dictatorship. These guys are just a random pink country. So yeah, the capital's gonna fall and they're gonna surrender. And that ends that front line extremely quickly. And they will now push into this country on all sides. And it's not looking good for them. But St. Petersburg might be able to clutch because they have just pushed over so far that they are now connecting with that ally. And yeah, Belarus is like, okay, can you please do some conscripting or something because you're not doing very well. And they're gonna go ahead and say no. And yeah, their capital will fall. And now they decide to conscript, but it's too late because the rest of the country will follow suit and collapse. Now it's just these two in the south versus the north. Who wins, the south versus the north? The answer is you'll learn later, because I shall tell you later. Anyway, the offensive over here continues. It is getting slowed down because St. Petersburg's troops are there. Belarus is still quite a strong country, so they will be pushing into St. Petersburg, but they have been stalled. So yeah, they're going to have a small offensive over here. That doesn't really go anywhere after that. Also, Estonia is going to make a counteroffensive, pushing Belarus back, and even marching into their territory and capturing a major city and a town. And this is really bad for Belarus. They were not expecting this. But another country will be joining this war because they want land. Just like that, Finland has joined the war on the side of Belarus. And yeah, this impact will be felt very fast because Finnish troops will march straight into St. Petersburg, taking the capital in just days. And yeah, you may be wondering, how the heck do they just take the capital like that? That's because they were expecting this. Well, they were not expecting this. And yeah, the Belarus will break through the defensive line. And St. Petersburg, what? St. Petersburg is going to capitulate, leaving Estonia to fight this war by themselves. So Estonia is actually going to white peace somehow. They'll go to Finland and they're like, could you really kill us? Like, what do we ever do to you? And then Finland's like, okay, can we please just not kill Estonia? And Estonia is led off the war. They have to pay a ton of reparations to Belarus and, rebuild all the stuff that they destroyed. Over here, I forgot the color that these guys were. Ah, yes. This, or odd color. Anyway, this Russian country will be pushing in to the beige team, taking a few towns and nearing capital. The military dictatorship of the lavender team will also connect up with them, encircling the capital city. And it's now that hope is lost, and they will just be surrendering over to the circle team, not the circle team, the diamond team. Sorry, I'm really tired. Just like that, the diamond team has won the first Russian war. So let's see the peace treaty. Just like that, here is the peace treaty. This is a extremely harsh peace treaty on the circle team. They lost a ton of land. The only members left are St. Petersburg and the beige country, which got off very lightly. They're very weak and probably going to collapse. So yeah, also the pink country down here got fully annexed, and Belarus gained land. But the military dictatorship is getting very strong, and Belarus is getting a bit worried about it, so there might be another big Russian war soon, but that is not the focus. Over here to the Holy Swedish Empire, they're going to be making some moves. They are going to explore all of this land, and they're going to give Finland a portion of it, which is just a tiny bit over here, and now they're going to turn it into a ton of different client states. These are the new client states of the Holy Swedish Empire. We can see that Finland gained a bit of land, but there is a lot of new countries, making it a lot larger, hence a lot more powerful in their eyes, and there is a new election, and the country selected to be leader is Norway this time, and Norway has big plans. And yeah, so the red team, they're going to go up here and they're going to say, hey, we've got an idea. But this idea is